we just stopped. And we're on again. So I'll just give you a quick update of what's going on at the chamber. Our big event, obviously, for the month of November was We Are Delray last night at the Seagate Country Club, and it was great fun. I think I see some of you on here that were there. We had a wonderful time. So thank you everyone that turned out, and it was a great time was had by all. We've got Delray Morning Live, as you know, Wednesdays, every Wednesday morning at 8:30. And this month we've got quite a lot of grand openings. So on November 8th, Cabby's having a grand opening here at the chamber at 5 p.m. Simply Posh is having their grand opening on November 14th. And on November 17th, Prima Tanning is having their grand opening. So it's so great to see a lot of new businesses opening in town. Our YPAD event is going to be on the 16th. So that's earlier this month because we have Thanksgiving. That's going to be at Silver Ball. And this is of interest to everybody that's on this call is the legislative lunch and the Leadership Delray graduation. And that's going to be November 29th. It's usually the Tuesday before Thanksgiving, but I spoke to the Palm Beach County delegation and they're going to be doing some training because the election will take place obviously next week. So if you haven't voted, please vote. At least by Tuesday. And then we'll know who to invite to our legislative lunch. So the legislative lunch is going to take place after Thanksgiving this year on November 29th. It'll be at the Aloft Hotel. And I know the CRA girls have already signed up. So glad to see that you're going to be there. So we're looking forward to that. So we always get to speak to our recently elected legislators to Tallahassee. And we'll also have a Leadership Delray graduation, as I mentioned. So with that, shall I hand it over to David? Do you have a few words do you want to introduce Laura for us?
Sure. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Good. So I've known Laura for, I don't know, when did you start with DDA, Laura? 2010? Let's start this
2010.
way. Laura's been in Delray forever. I think they were the founding fathers. Her father was president of the chamber way back when, and he was a 50-year member of the chamber a few years ago. Laura's following in his footsteps with her service to Delray. She's been a fantastic director of the DDA for about 10 years now, Laura. I've lost track. I'm getting old. Wow. But she's done a great job. She's built a great organization. So without further ado, I'll turn it over to Laura.
Awesome. Well, thank you. Thanks, everybody, for having me. Thank you, our fellow chamber members, for being here. And yes, thank you, Stephanie and David. Thank you for that introduction. It is great to be here today with you all. I have a presentation to give, just so can I share my screen? Is that possible? Yeah. Oh, there's faces. Yeah. And yes, David, I started in July 2010. And it was a very different organization. There's a lot of change here, but I'm born and raised in Delray Beach. And before I'm just going to keep my screen off for a minute. So born and raised in Delray Beach, went to school at Clemson University, majored in tourism management, and went into the hospitality industry for a long time. And then came to find out that the Downtown Development Authority was started by my father, because I wanted to, really give back to the town that I grew up in. I love this place and wanted to do more. So when this position opened up, I was very pleased to be able to jump in and follow in his footsteps, because I didn't realize my father started the Downtown Development Authority. So he's like, here's the file. When I started it, and I'm like, oh my gosh. So I had no idea all these things happened, how it happened. I just loved being here and loved taking part in all that Delray had to offer, and had really no idea how the operation worked behind the scenes. And it is a lot. And, we've got a great town, and learning from downtowns all across the country and the world, and seeing what they do. Through my fellowship with the International Downtown Association, but just seeing the great things that this town has done, and a lot through the leadership of our Chamber of Commerce. My father was the president at the time that he spearheaded the DDA. Can you, is there feedback or is that me?
There's feedback.
Hmm.
If everyone other than Laura could mute, maybe that's the issue.
Okay. All right, I'll continue. So as we move forward, and then just actually, yes, so the Chamber of Commerce has done a great deal for this city through their leadership, and will continue to do that, I'm sure. So with that, I was going to just go ahead and jump in and tell you all a little bit about the Downtown Development Authority. Not sure how much everybody is aware of what we do and why we exist. So let's start with my presentation. Here we go. So our organization is and our mission is to stimulate, enhance, and sustain the economic vitality of the downtown and the quality of life enjoyed by locals and visitors. Our organization is one that is a government agency. We are governed by a state statute that was put in place in 1971. We've surpassed the 50-year mark, and we are funded by a tax that is levied on the properties within the downtown district, which runs from 95 to the beach and 4 blocks within the core on either side, north and south, really hovering over the commercial central business district. And our tax is assessed on the properties, both commercial and residential. But as we were put in place back in the 70s, it was primarily for the commercial property owners to really advocate for our downtown commercial core and the revitalization of that. As the suburban sprawl started to happen during that time, things were changing in our city government that was affecting and impacting our stakeholders and property owners in downtown, and primarily around parking and and commerce. So with that, it is really important for us to be a very strong advocate and oversee what happens here in the downtown district that impacts our private sector and commercial property owners and residential owners, as well as our business owners, because everything, the decisions that are made through all the different parties within City Hall do impact downtown and our heart of our community. So we are considered the downtown management organization, and all the tax that comes into our organization is reinvested back into the downtown and has been growing the property values for our community over the many years. When I started in 2010, we were still assessing that 1 mil, but our budget was only $400,000. And today, as we saw this year, we had a large increase. We're up to $1.4 million. So that's all that one mil off of the property value. So the value of our downtown has been growing tremendously, especially over the past 10 years. And we were obviously coming out of the recession when I started here, and really looking at how are we going to continue this and grow our community. So a few things that are new for the DDA this year. We got a new logo. We're really excited. Our organization is focused primarily on the marketing, placemaking, and economic development for the downtown. We're heavily focused on marketing and events that drive people to the community and to our downtown. So over the many years, we've taken a huge leadership role in that to promote our resort village by the sea and really drive our economy. We've got our website's going to be refreshed this year. Our downtowndelraybeach.com site sees over 1 million visits annually, and we've got a very robust site that is a tool for our businesses and our property owners and residents and visitors to leverage as they can utilize this as a microsite. So it is an investment that we did for our businesses and business owners to take advantage of. Marketing, as I said, is a huge piece. So these are just some samples of some things that we do. We have developed an event guide. So something that the marketing cooperative used to do was a calendar of events that went out monthly. This is a tool that we've put together just last year and promote out through our organization, through the visitor center and through all downtown. So a lot of print pieces. We also do a lot, obviously we've done for all of our events like art and jazz, we do bring collateral back to and do a lot of marketing around those events as well. And also things that are happening throughout our city. So Halloween just happened and we take that leadership on really communicating all things that are happening downtown. Our organization brought back art and jazz on the avenue this last year and with a big bang and as a way for us to come past the pandemic and really bring all of our new residents and new visitors and just showcase our new businesses that are in our community and the new neighborhoods. So we did it 4 times last year. We just had one last week. It was on Beachside. It was very successful. We saw close to about 1,500 people. And it's been a wonderful experience to see people come back that missed it. We're regulars at Art and Jazz on the Avenue, having a good time dancing in the street and really seeing a mix between great art, local businesses, our local artists really enjoying and getting to know different neighborhoods that they maybe have never been to before. Restaurant month, I'm just going to do some highlights because we just had a really successful restaurant month for September. And that is something, as we do our events for our downtown organization, everything is really for us to, again, drive back the economic development into our community. So every program that we develop is not a fundraiser for us. It's really an initiative to fundraise or drive revenues back into the downtown. So restaurant month took place this year in September versus August, because September is a traditionally very slow month. It's probably one of our wettest months, but it is one that the restaurants were like, why don't we do this in September and see how it goes? And it was hugely successful. It also helped that we had Bon Jovi in visiting our downtown during September and driving a lot of great visibility to our social channels. So this is just an example of some of our social that we do for our community as well. But that was a great little viral post that we had through our friends with Rocco and Throw Social and board member, actually. So some digital marketing that we do, just also we did take the leadership and partnership with the chamber and the city on our destination marketing and tourism marketing back in, I guess, 2 years ago. We did a rebrand and really took a big approach to driving visitor traffic to our downtown and to our city, and really pushing that hard to bring back and rebound after the pandemic. So this is also just a little bit a snapshot of September's tourism marketing efforts. We run very strong digital advertising, paid advertising. We put a lot of dollars towards advertising for the community, for both our events and for just driving traffic and awareness to our feeder markets. And really we partner with Visit Florida as well as Discover the Palm Beaches, and a lot of co-op advertising, as well as PR and travel writers and extra marketing efforts that they bring forth to us. Email marketing is another opportunity for us too. We do a weekend roundup. So hopefully if you all are signed up for that, because that showcases all that's happening and gets the message out for any road closures or things that are coming up on the weekend, as well as leading into the next week. Website analytics, I shared a little bit. So these are just some high level ones. I'll move a little faster just so we can get on. Our Visitor Information Center. So I don't know if everybody's aware that the DDA manages our Visitor Information Center and has been since 2005. This is the old police substation, which is now our Visitor Information Center. It's right at Gleason Park, right next to BurgerFi on the corner of Atlantic Avenue and A1A. We renovated this back in 2017-18 in partnership with the city. And now we manage that with BJ Scalar, who is our manager over the facility, is a paid employee, and the actual facility is operated by close to 20 volunteers. It's a 7-day-a-week operation, and they see close to, we're seeing numbers that are, obviously September is very low, but we will see during season close to 1,000 to 2,000 people come through there. It is a very great resource for both our local community as well. And BJ herself is, we're tracking visitors and why they're coming there and how they heard about Delray Beach, asking lots of pointed questions, as well as BJ does do she's like a traveling visitor center. She'll be on the road to all the hotels, making sure they're aware what's coming up, make sure the concierges are informed, and really does a great service for our community. PR, these are just some highlights of what we've done through our PR efforts. We do have a PR team that really is pushing us as a community, both getting attention through regional and national advertising or media, as well as for our events. So leading that effort in a very strong way. Coming up in our event world, we have, again, Art and Jazz on the Avenue. That is, our next one is January, which will be in Pineapple Grove, May, which will be on West Atlantic Avenue. And in July, we're bringing it back to East Atlantic Avenue. So that will run from Swinton all the way to 6th. So that's real good news. First Friday Art Walks are back. We have one tonight. And that is a gallery walk, and it is a self-guided, but we have a map that we provide, and it is seeing close to 300 people bringing in, coming in on just for the art walk. We set up entertainment on the street. It's kind of fun. So I hope everybody gets out and discovers. We have quite a few new galleries that are out there and some new exhibitions that are being shown too. Shop Small, our ornament giveaway. This has been going on for now 12 years. The ornament giveaway is new, but Shop Small is an Amex promo. We are a neighborhood champion for the downtown. So we'll be giving away American Express swag. In addition to, we've started a curated ornament that is designed by a local artist. This one was selected. It's a surfboard glass ornament that is produced by Bob Schmidt, who is a glass artist locally. So if you spend $200 on Saturday the 26th, you can redeem that for a beautiful ornament. Save of the Avenue is back. That'll take place in March 27th. And reservations will open up on February 1st. So everybody mark their calendars. And then we do our Mother's Day Orchid giveaway. We have Restaurant Month and a lot of other things in between. So more to come on our event side. Placemaking is another area that our organization it's kind of that behind the scenes operation side that people don't really know about, but we control and manage the amenities in our downtown as it relates to lighting and street pole banners. These and also our holiday lighting. So right now and this week and next week, all the decorations will be decorating downtown for the holidays. This is what we'll be putting up on the campus of Old School Square. A little surfing Santa, because as we roll through, and I'll touch on this in just a minute, just as we open up the Cornell Museum, it'll have a little bit of a tie for our surfing community. And downtown beautification, our organization worked really closely with the city on the downtown clean program and beautification, really more so on the advocacy and really management and liaison with the city on just really the landscaping, pressure spraying, garbage pickups, anything that relates to just how we're keeping the downtown clean, as it's really important for a downtown district too, because it is a very busy area and growing area, as well as it's the first and last impression. And if nobody wants to come to a dirty downtown or a town that has trampled bushes and poor landscaping. So it's really important for us to stay on top of that with our city team. We fund the Downtown Safety Ambassador Program, and this year we're enhancing that program. We have added some additional hours and some additional times, as well as additional ambassadors. So you'll see that is as we see and they really handle the quality of life issues, our transient population, and really helping manage that program with our clean and safe officers in the downtown and our police department, who with their social advocates that work closely with our homeless population as well. Really helping to manage that, be the first there to help and respond to any issues on the street. So there are also there for you, there for people, residents, business owners. So if you have an issue, that they're on call, and I highly recommend you call them because they are very, very strong. And we've got teams, they've been here since 2018. We have members on the team that have been here and really know and handle, know all of our community better than we do. So parking and wayfinding, that's where we started, and we continue. I sit on the Parking and Management Advisory Board. I'm written into the ordinance as a permanent fixture on that board. Lucky me. So we continue to work closely with our city on really guiding the parking and wayfinding. Wayfinding this year will hopefully come, we'll start seeing the signage go in the ground in 22-23. As we've sat and helped really design and guide where that new wayfinding will help, and we'll hopefully see that with that installation, a huge positive impact into how people navigate through this community. And moving on, so here's just example of some of our new banners that we're going to be putting up soon. So you'll see those around the town. It's going to be exciting. Economic development. This is another our last little bucket. As our board is a appointed board by the City Commission, we have board members that represent our downtown. In our statute, we are required to have 7 members of our board. 4 of those have to be in the actual district, a property owner or a business owner, and then 3 are residents or at-large business owners out of the district. And they meet monthly and review any new development, redevelopment, ordinances that are under review, any changes that come through, and are recommending body to the City Commission and city to set any policy. So it is, our board members meet noon the second Monday of every month, as I share with you all, and it is a public meeting. Public is welcome to attend. We do have public comments. So I just encourage you all to attend if you can, and if you like to or have comments or things that you want to share with our board, because we do recommend and provide comments back to our City Commission, as I said, and they are always looking for us to for our input. So we'll see a couple new things coming forward on the 14th, the November 14th meeting. And I just also touched on a little bit. This is a little few things that we highlights for our ambassadors. And new this year, we, as you all might be aware of, we just recently took the initiative to help guide and manage and activate a because we do have that responsibility for this campus of Old School Square campus as we move into this year. It's a very big and important part of our downtown, as it always has been, and we've always been very active and involved in how this town square, and as we call it, is part of our community and the economic impact it has. And without it being open and active, it has had a very very hard impact on our community, both our outer community as well as our downtown community as well. So our board really looked at it, and our team has been working on ways for us to say, how do we bring back the activations? How do we do, what can we do? And this year we will, we've just had that meeting a week and a half ago and got really the handoff and the approval to move forward. So our planning process is underway, and we'll hopefully be able to move into opening up. The first step in the phased approach would be opening up the Cornell Museum for the holidays with an exhibition, really looking at a Love Delray exhibition to bring back that love for our community. I have the pleasure of having an amazing team One being Mariska Gatto, who was the director of operations for the Cornell Museum for 6 years, was responsible for the renovation of that center, and brought it to its beautiful point of being a almost accredited museum, and before the pandemic. So she has, her heart is into this, and she is an expert in this industry. And I'm very lucky to have her passion behind this as we move forward to opening this up. And also giving shout outs to my team now, just having Suzanne Boyd as our new strategic marketing manager on point. She started with us in May and is really making a huge impact as we move forward into this initiative as well, along with our operations administrator Liliana Fino and BJ Scalar. And now I have a new marketing coordinator, Danielle Moran. Some of you will know her as Danielle Rosenberg. She's joining us for Men in Development. She just had a baby, and I'm delighted to say that she started on Tuesday with us, and we're really excited to have her as we round out our team this year. So, because we need it, it's going to be a big year for us. So with that, I'm just going to stop sharing, and I'm happy to take questions or comments or talk more if you'd like me to. So I didn't want to go too long because I know we've got, I probably have some questions to answer.
Okay, so David, you're muted.
Oh, you told me to mute, Stephanie, so I follow your directions. You didn't tell me to unmute. Thank you, Laura. It was a great presentation. You really have brought the DDA to a new level that no one could foreseen, 10 years ago. So it's congratulations, and we look forward to great things in the future. Anybody have any questions for Laura?
I did. Also, I wanted to give a shout out to, because I did write this down, but I didn't put it in the presentation. But we've worked very closely with the Pineapple Grove Arts District, and I'm going to say this to David because we are working closely with David in the Pineapple Grove Arts District to work on the art and there, and just they've done a tremendous thing for our downtown, and their initiative back in 1993, I guess it was, or 92, early 90s. And really taking the leadership on developing that neighborhood to bringing to where it is today. And I just want to thank them for that partnership, because it is a lot. It's a huge part of our downtown, and it looks beautiful, and done an amazing job. So thank you.
Great. Thank you, Laura.
I can't believe everybody's so quiet.
Well,
I'm sure you have some questions for Laura. I know that we get to hear from our partners every month, but we really wanted Laura to give you just a general overview of the DDA and a little bit idea of what their plans are for 2022 and 2023, which is great, especially with respect to Old School Square. So anybody have any more questions about that?
I think it was such a thorough presentation that we're all speechless. I mean, all the things that they're doing, continue to do. So.
Well, you can email me questions if you have. I'm happy to meet with anybody if anybody has questions.
Hi, Laura.
Oh, hi.
It's Kimberly. How are you?
Hi, Kimberly. Good to see you.
Good to see you, my friend. Question for you, the Old School Square. So you said it's kind of going to be rolled out a little bit. Is there a timeline, like first with the museum? And just curious.
Yeah. So we're working closely with the city right now. The Parks and Recreation team for the city are overseeing, and have been really since, I think, as last April, and have been, really trying to activate it as much as they can, and as well as our private sector with private producers who are doing public events. For example, this weekend, there's both Saturday and Sunday, there's 2 events happening on campus. One's the Taste of Recovery, and it's a ticketed event for the public, but it's being produced by a private producer. And then on Sunday, we have Delray Goes to the Dogs, which is a nonprofit, but it's a dog event. It's open to the public. It's really going to be fun. And so there's a lot of activity in the green markets happening again. So there's a lot of things happening there. I think for us, it's really looking at how do we, really with intent, what we're going to do as we go forward. The most important corner for us is the corner of Swinton Atlantic Avenue, and having the museum closed. And the longer a museum is closed, the harder it is to get reopened. So and we want it to stay a museum. There's a lot of that was invested in that, and it's really important for the entire campus to remain a cultural arts center for our community. The arts are huge, very important to downtowns and to communities, especially tourism communities. So we really want to make sure that we're bringing that back. The Crest Theater is going into finalizing the renovations. The renovations started. Unfortunately, there's been a huge, there's extra work that needs to be done just based on the condition in which it was left for the entire property. So there's been a lot of extra work that needs to be added to the theater. So the renovations will start this year, and I don't know that we'll make it through. Our goal was to be ready for opening in August, but it doesn't look like we're going to be able to do that just based on the condition that it's in. But it'll be, invested in through the city's dollars that they have in the budget. So we'll help oversee what happens there. But again, it's a phased approach, taking the museum first, looking at how the campus is being activated through both the city's efforts and the private sector, and how do we fill in those gaps. And looking at summer as our, May through summer as our big time for activating that campus in a way that's going to have a really good impact, positive impact, and driving people during the summer to downtown, which last year it wasn't. It was very quiet, and it really had a big impact on us.
So it's kind of it's a focus is like city, DDA, like there's partners in making that come back then.
But yeah, with our leadership. So we presented to the city that we would lead that effort, build a team, build a business model, build that for its duration. So because it needs to, the quality of the programming, the quality of service, everything, the grounds, how the grounds are maintained, what happens there on the campus, what the experience is when people are there. We want to really look at what all of that is, because we really want to make sure that it's meshing and really an inclusive place and inclusive of the entire community. And it really has that same caliber, if not better than our community, because it has so much potential. But its original intent back when the city acquired it, through the leadership of the Historical Society, was to have a historic museum on the corner, which was where the Cornell Museum is. So have that be the Delray History Museum, because the Historic Society didn't have a home at that time. So their goal was to have that there. But there's, and then to create a art and culture center and a place that's available for our community and inclusive of our community, and a place for people. So we want people to feel welcome. We want them to be there, day and night. We want it to be open for those that, are in our community to be able to utilize the facility, as well as bring, great talent, great art, great attractions for our regional and for visitors that are here. So that's our goal.
It's funny, when I was at the Delray Beach Library, I always had this idea that there would be this like yellow brick road, and there was going to be the connection between like library and then, like wayfinding, like really connect it, but I don't know, at some point,
that's a good idea.
The strategic, you look at, when I lived in New York, a lot of those cultural organizations really worked together to market because they were appealing to the same customer, right? And so the more that we can show that there's a lecture series at the library, there's
absolutely
as opposed to isolated marketing, there's a lot to do there. But I was just thinking of back to that, I had this yellow brick road idea. I don't know if yellow brick road's the right thing, but some stepstones that take you and connect those pieces. So anyways,
well, that is our goal with this, is that the museum too is a hub to have a place that is promoting all arts, all community. And we started the art trail 2 years ago that includes cultural venues as well. So it's all things arts and culture, and and also utilizing the museum for people to come into, to come into that space, like the library or the Historic Society or Spady or Arts Garage, so just also to utilize the campus itself. So our partners are going to be all in it, and that's what we're excited about. Should be.
Thank
So-
you.
So Laura, on the museum, I really felt after the renovation, they had taken their exhibits to a different level. And is there any intention of bringing that back, that level of quality that they started to go in that direction? And the second question is, the museum has never joined the other Palm Beach County museums in promoting each other. And I know there's a pass you can get for some of those museums that you buy one for the year and you go to all the museums under the same pass. And that was never part of the Old School Square Museum. Any intention of bringing that into fruition?
Absolutely. No, that we're our first call before we even had the meeting 2 weeks ago with the city was to the Cultural Council. So the Cultural Council is the county's through the Tourism Bureau is the county's cultural tourism entity that creates the cultural pass, and those they are going to be a huge partner of us to make that happen, as well as working with different museums through accredited museums throughout the community through our county. That's how you make it happen. We can't do this alone, and it is important to leverage those resources where possible. As far as the curation of that is, as the whole property and what we do there is to enhance the quality of that, and to look at ways for us to bring both the art on the inside and exhibitions on the inside, as well as to the outside as well. So bringing some art to the outside or experiences on the outside, and just being intentional about what those look like. But those cost money. So we have to, again, that's another part of this process too, is looking at, how we will be starting a foundation that is an arts and culture foundation that will primarily for the first couple of years fund Old School Square, or could only be a Old School Square. But our goal is to have a foundation where, monies that are intended or willed or donated to this campus stay with this campus and stay within the arts and culture, because that was their intent.
Okay, thank you. Any
You're
other
welcome.
questions for Laura? If not, we'll move on to our other partners.
Thank you.
Thank
Renee?
you, Laura. Thank you for the update.
You're welcome. Thank you so much.
Renee, are you still on the call? Renee Jettising, Executive Director of the
Yes.
CRA.
Hi. Yes, I'm here.
Oh, there you are.
Hello. Hey, how are you?
Good. Bright and cheery this
Good.
morning, aren't you?
Always, of course. Good things going on in Delray.
Well, tell us.
I'll tell you all about it. All right. So I'll start with First Friday Art Walk, which Laura mentioned. It's with the DDA, the Arts Warehouse participates in this as well. So come check out our new installation tonight from 6 to 9. Also tomorrow's Craft on the Ave. So that's the craft market that we recently started this year at Libby Wesley Plaza from 2 to 6 p.m. So we started this year as kind of like a pilot. I think we're going to continue it on next year. We're trying to do it every month around the first Saturday of each month, just to have an alternative market, a place for people to sell things. And it's kind of worked out well for people who have maybe a home-based business, especially from the Northwest, Southwest neighborhoods that want to come out and have the opportunity to have a business place that they may not have that option. Also is the Green Market still going on. We're now on the front lawn. You may see it kind of shifting around the Old School Square campus, and that is because of all the activity happening. So the city's been doing a lot of bookings there, which is fantastic. There's activation happening there, but we also still have the Green Market. So if you just head down to the Old School Square campus, you'll see it in some form or fashion, but it is still there, doing really well. I heard that our opening market 2 weeks ago was like the talk of the green markets in the county. So our Lori Johnson, our green market manager, heard from the vendors that they went to a market in Royal Palm Beach and everyone was talking about Delray. So please keep coming out. Please keep making it spectacular. We have more vendors that are coming from other markets to come to Delray. So always fantastic time on Saturdays. Also, at the Arts Warehouse, November 19th, we have a warehouse market. So this is an indoor market where we're doing more of a craft fair, similar to what we have at Craft on the Ave, but the warehouse market, great place to shop for holiday items. We've been trying to do it every summertime and around the holiday. I think it's for the last 2 or 3 years now. So I think we'll keep it going. It is a nice event indoors with the AC, so that's nice. And I'll switch over to project updates now. So recently we paused taking applications for our business grants. It's something that I want to make sure to get out to everybody. There's been some talk from our board about trying to change the program, make it need-based, so do some kind of assessment of it, kind of like a check-in. So we are pausing accepting applications for right now, but we plan to pick it back up at some point. We're going to reassess, bring some options to our board and see if there's anything that they want to make changes. Otherwise, we'll just roll it back out again early next year. So just wanted to make sure that that is out there. Also, we're seeing good movement on the Hatcher development project that's in the Northwest 600 block. He's hoping to be in there in the next couple months by the end of the year. We'll have a big party and I'll invite everyone to please come out and celebrate with William Hatcher. He's super excited to have his office and we are too, to get building happening in the West Atlantic. Also, another project update. So we are demolishing the Schuler's building. That's on Atlantic Avenue on the south side. So we just got our demo permit issued yesterday. So that is going to be happening soon. And I want to kind of start getting that word out as well. So when people see things happening, they're like, what's going on? But we were able to receive a grant from the Solid Waste Authority last year to demolish Schuler. So please stay tuned and look out for that. And also, exciting news. So we, at one of our board meetings recently, we showed designs for the container area park that we're trying to develop on the Northwest 800 block in West Atlantic. And we have an architect who just got our ideas on paper, put some things together for us. And the architects asked us if they could submit that for an AIA award, and we won. So really excited. The celebration is tonight. We're going to the ceremony. The architects won it. I mean, it's our project, so I kind of take credit. I kind of want to get an award, a duplicate award, but that's really exciting. They won for the unbuilt projects category. So we're going to keep pushing forward on that, but I just wanted to let everyone know that, you know, the design won an award. So I'm hoping that we can say, here's the award-winning project in the next year or so, right on Atlantic Avenue.
That's
And
awesome.
lastly, yeah, so excited. I'll share the link in the chat so you can see the full presentation that we did to our board, but it really came together. The next step is we need to actually hire a container company. So we'll go out to bid. We just wanted to get the architects to like put everyone's ideas out there and give them an idea of what we want to do. So
Yes,
really
please put that in the
excited there.
chat. I recommend everyone to take a look at it. It's going to be so exciting. It's just a brilliant idea.
Yeah, and yeah, winning the award was, we thought, why not? Why? You never know what can happen, and we won. So, or they won. They won through us. And lastly, we went to the Florida Redevelopment Association annual conference last month. So really fantastic. We presented at a few sessions on housing, legal topics for CRAs, and also I'm now the treasurer for the FRA. So excited to be able to represent the city on a statewide platform as the treasurer for the organization. So that's all I have for you. Thank you, guys.
That's exciting, Renee, that the container project's moving forward. I think that would be a great magnet for West Atlantic and very, very much needed down there.
Definitely. Thank you.
Is there a timeline for that at all?
No timeline. We're still putting together, I guess, funds, seeing how much it will cost actually, and getting together a bid. So once we have the bid, we'll issue it and get obviously an actual number of what will cost. But we've been working with the city to find out requirements there. That's all the groundwork, because if remember, there's also like no ground infrastructure there. So that's also going to be a significant part. The other thing, getting technical, but that was the site of the remediation on the corner of 8th and Atlantic. So there is still a well that's testing with contaminants in the median, not our site. So we have some involvement there with the company and the county about getting an all clear letter, because our site's clear. It's just tied to this median that's not. So a little bit of logistics, don't have a full timeline, but we are going forward as quickly as we can.
What about on the south side of the street? Anything going to be moving along in that direction again? I mean, it's been stop and go for 10 years.
I know. Well, it will. You know, what we tried to do is start doing the demos, because the demos were always supposed to happen as part of the project. But as you said, it's been 10 plus years. So we received a grant from the Solid Waste Authority to demolish Schuler's. We got the award last fiscal year, and we're demolishing it probably in the next month. So stay tuned. It'll be looking very different soon. And we also applied for the Solid Waste Authority grant to demolish the 700 building. That's the green building on West Atlantic Avenue. And we were awarded that grant. We just found out this month. So that is going to go into a demo. We're going to do a bid, going to get in for a demo permit. So by probably early next year, the 700 building will be demolished too. So it'll start looking different, and we'll start looking at what we want to do with development, but at least we can start getting the buildings leveled, as opposed to just waiting for it to happen later on, because they're just going to sit there and Schuler's isn't looking so great. So it's time, I think, for us to move forward with that.
Okay, thank you. Any questions for Renee? Another great presentation. Thank you. Jackie Ramirez, can you give us an update on what's going on with small business?
Got it. Hi, good morning to everyone. And Laura, that was a fantastic presentation on the DDA. I did not realize that your father started that business and you took over. So that was a very impressive story. Thank you. The only thing I want to mention is that we have a couple of workshops coming up that are virtual, and I'm going to put a link into the chat so that if you know of someone who is wanting to start a business and would like to attend the workshop, or if there's a veteran who would like to know more about their options with federal government business. So I'll put those there. And actually, that's all I have to share today. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Jackie. Let's see. I saw Steve Weissman in there. Are you there still, Steve?
I am here.
County Appraiser's Office.
I am here. And I'm going to share my screen for a minute. And there we go. Okay, so as everybody probably knows, the election is this Tuesday. If you haven't already voted, there are two amendments that do affect assessments and property taxes, and I'll just show you that. The information is from the League of Women Voters of Palm Beach County. First one is Amendment 1, which is proposing to grant sort of like an exemption. In other words, we can't, normally you do an improvement to your house, it increases the market value, and so the assessment goes up in the taxes. This says that if this passes, if you do anything to mitigate for flood that may happen in the future because of sea level rise that we have here in South Florida, that we cannot increase the assessment to reflect that. And what's interesting about this is we understand what the reason is for it. Obviously, we want to encourage people to do this, especially after what the West Coast saw recently with Ian. The question that remains is this the best way to handle it? And I can tell you that the local papers, the Palm Beach Post and the Sun Sentinel says, no, there are probably better ways to do this than in property taxes. Because again, keep in mind, anytime there's any kind of an exemption, it pretty much just redistributes the tax burden on everybody else that doesn't get it. So that's Amendment 1. And again, even if these pass, the legislature is still going to have to do enabling legislation. And that's also a big question mark. How is that going to come up? The second one is Amendment 3, which probably people have heard more about. That is proposing an additional $50,000 homestead exemption will not apply to school assessment for certain first responders and frontline workers. So if there's a yes vote, the legislation gets to create the new exemption. If there's a no vote, they don't. Both of these are triggered if the legislature does their work to go into effect January 1st of 2023. One thing to keep in mind on this one, and this goes again back to what the local papers have to say, is an additional 50,000 is approximately $1,000 a year, which is like $83 a month. And the question is, given the pricing of housing in South Florida, is that really the best way to help these people out? Is that because it really doesn't do anything to address affordable housing. So if you want more information on these, because you haven't voted yet, at our offices, we have this on the election from the League of Women Voters, or you can check out vote411.org.
Okay, are you done?
And that's it. I'm done.
Oh,
So
okay.
I'm sorry to interrupt you, David. I wanted to make sure if Jeff Orris is on from the city. I don't know if he's still on. I wanted to hear from the city. Jeff, are you still there? I think we lost him because I think he has to go at 9. I mean, at 10. Okay, shoot. All righty. We missed it. Okay. Never mind. But Parks and Rec is on. Is anyone? They may have gone too. Yep.
Hi, we're
City.
here.
Okay. Do you want to give a quick update on what's going on for the holidays, maybe?
Sure, absolutely. Yeah, we're very busy getting ready. The tree just went up, as you know, in October. And we get a lot of comments from people about why the tree has to go up so early. And there are many reasons, but one is, as Stephanie can attest to, it takes weeks and weeks to decorate. And it's more than just putting the tree up. There's also the decorating all the houses inside, decorating the trees, decorating the Santa house, decorating the gingerbread house, putting all the trees up, putting the skating rink up. There's a lot that happens, and it takes close to a month to do that. And our tree lighting is November 29th. The event is from 6 to 9 p.m. The tree lighting will happen at 7. And we are very excited about that. It's hard to believe that the year just flew by and we're already at Christmas, and while we're also planning St. Patrick's Day. So, you know, the months slip by very quickly for us. We also have coming up very shortly, next week actually, is our Veterans Day celebration ceremony, I guess is a better word for it, at Veterans Park. We have World War II veterans that are going to be there, Korean War, Vietnam War, the Gulf War. It's an incredibly poignant and solemn ceremony that's going to be happening. And that starts around 9:30 at Veterans Park. And we do welcome people to come out, even if you are not a veteran. It's very poignant. So if you can make it out, that would be wonderful to support our troops once again. And then after that, we have our tree lighting. Also, we all have a turkey trot, which is on the 19th of November. That's over at Anchor Park. That's our annual 5K. Then we have our tree lighting, which is on November 29th. That's at Old School Square. And as I think that Laura had mentioned, we'll be closing off Swinton. We close off 6 blocks of A1A. We close off part of Pineapple Grove. And then we have the entirety of Old School Square campus. So it's probably one of our larger, since we've been in charge of it, one of our larger Christmas tree lightings. And we also call it the Yuletide Street Fair. It will go from 6 to 9. And so we're very excited about that. Obviously, we anticipate greater crowds than normal because, again, people are excited to get out and post-pandemic. After that, we have the Holiday Village, which runs for 33 days. Remember those, Stephanie? Remember those days? The Holiday Village. So that will include a lot of different activities on the weekends, visits with Santa, free coming into the tree. And then we'll just be having some kind of fun activities and activations in between We have some concerts happening, some movies around the city that are free also to the our visitors. So we want to keep things going there. On December 9th is the Delray and Boynton Boat Parade. It goes up the Intercoastal. December 3rd, before I forget, December 3rd, the entertainment that all the schools and choirs and things that would come out and entertain at the Christmas tree. We have now moved them to their own day. We thought sometimes they were getting a little lost in the shuffle of the excitement of Santa coming. We've given them their own day on December 3rd at Old School Square. It's a multi-hour event where they can come and shine on the stage without being lost in the crush of the tens of thousands of people. So they're going to have their holiday school spectacular. That's on December 3rd. December 9th is the boat parade that goes up the Intercoastal. December 10th is the city's holiday parade, which starts down by the Intercoastal and runs all the way up through 5th by the fire station. Again, a very fun event that brings the whole city together, brings all the merchants together, and really kind of kicks off the season a little bit with our with a visit from Santa at the very end of the parade. We have at the end of this, we have our New Year's Eve celebration, which is a little bit more low key. It's more of a family event. It goes from 6 to 9. Those are our favorite hours, 6 to 9 for all of our events. And we'll have a DJ playing. We'll have all of the activities with the Christmas tree, and we'll end those with some close proximity fireworks off the Old School Square garage. And that will finish our holiday season. That will be the last day of the Christmas tree, the last day of the carousel, and everything that happens at Old School Square around the holidays. Thoughts, questions?
Nan, I remember those days. I know what you're going to. Bon courage. You'll make it. It's a lot.
Yeah,
I love
right.
that you've moved the school to their own event on December 3rd, so all the kids can do the performances. It's a brilliant idea. Great job.
Yeah. Yeah, thank you. Oh, and we also have a concert in there too. December 9th, we have Turnstiles are coming back, which is
Okay.
a Billy Joel tribute. So really it's as the line goes, the joint will be hopping. We really have a lot going on. So we're welcoming everybody to come down and tell your friends and come join us, please.
Menorah lighting. When's the menorah
Yeah,
lighting?
Oh,
I was
the
gonna ask
menorah
that.
lighting. Yes, you're correct. December 18th. And also, interestingly enough, I could talk about this stuff forever. We've got so much going on. Beatles on the Beach is December 16th and 17th. They're bringing a band in, a Beatles cover band, tribute band from Israel. So they have agreed to stay, and they will be performing at the menorah lighting on the Sunday. So it's really kind of
Brilliant.
talk about collaboration, right? And
That's
people
great.
working together and all of that. So they've agreed to stay. The rabbi and they're thrilled because then we have this nice little collaboration of one event to the other. And it's this very cool, yes, good thumbs up. It's a very cool way to kind of join those two, and then the Israeli connection. And it's really the menorah lighting. They're actually bringing in a lot of fun things. So it's turning into a festival on its own also. And that is December 18th. And they start, that will be 5 to 7. Okay. Thank you for
That's
letting
great.
me.
Thank you so
talk
much
about
for
all those things.
Yes, thank you for updating us on that.
You're welcome. Our team is working hard.
Do we miss anybody, Stephanie?
I think we got everyone. Michael Corbett would be the last one on the list if you want to. Oh, and John Edwards just, I saw him as well. Do you want to pipe in quickly, John? And then
Yes,
we'll wrap it up.
just very quickly. On November 1st, the green building ordinance was passed. And so that was really a 2-year effort. And thanks to all the support from the community and the input that we got on that, it will go into effect on November 1st, 2023, and we'll have outreach about the effects and certification program. So very big step forward for greenhouse gas reductions and green building in the city of Delray Beach. Also, another major project is the tree planting. We're not even halfway through the year, and we're more than on track to plant the 2,000 trees in this year. Last weekend, we had 150 trees that we planted with community greening and volunteers at Atlantic High School. We have multiple planting events coming up in retention areas, and also at Formosa School, going to have probably around 300 trees that are planted there. So very active in the tree planting project that will benefit urban heat island and water quality, air quality. So those are the two main things now. Thanks.
Sorry, Kent, I was using your stage name.
Yeah, I was wondering what happened to Kent Edwards.
Yes, sorry. Yes, you're just using a stage name on the screen.
Yeah.
That's why I didn't call on him. I didn't know who John Edwards was.
Yeah.
That's it. I get a lot of jokes about that. John's my first name, but I go by Kent.
And
Okay.
Michael Corbett, do you have something quickly before we wrap up? Did we lose him? Okay, I think we're done. Does anyone have any questions or any input?
Next month, Stephanie?
I'd like to add one
Next-
thing.
Next month. Oh, sorry. Did someone say something?
Me, Jack, over here.
Okay. Yes, Jack.
Oh, I want to throw in a plug also for the Beatles on the Beach Festival and the Green Market, because the day of the Green Market, December 17th, during Beatles on the Beach, they're going to be having Strawberry Lane performing live at the Green Market. And I just think that everybody's got to hear this band because they're awesome, and really should check it out at the Green Market. So
Thank you. It's going to be busy. It's on right now. It's on. So yes, so next month we're going to have Mayor Shelley Petrolia round out the year. So she'll be our guest on the First Friday Forum in December, and we'll hopefully we'll see you before them at the legislative lunch. So thanks everyone. Thanks for joining us today. Have a good weekend.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.